Hi, thank you for taking the time to learn about the great EXP Pie giveaway. My name is Monique Harps. I have been an agent with EXP for about 8 years, and I have done a pie giveaway for 4 years. I had to skip last year because I was getting ready for deployment, and then I deployed earlier this year. So this is my first event back to my sphere. The system we're going to use is the event mastery system, which is run by or taught by Michael J. Maher, the author of the book Seven Levels of Communication, Going from Relationship to Referrals. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. He teaches this event mastery course 3 times a year, and the Pi Day is one that he teaches. I am one of his event coaches for that. So I help him with another agent from Arizona lead that course, that 7-week course, um, for agents across the nation. So I've done it a few times and I know the system like in and out, right? So I want to bring that to other agents at EXP because I've been hearing people want more lead generation ideas beyond the online leads and calls and other things that are similar in nature. They want to do more with their sphere, right? So I am opening up my event and scaling it to include other agents because once the system is down, it doesn't take much to add another person. So with that in mind, I'm going to go over the whole event and then I'm going to go over kind of how we're going to work together through it in order to make it successful, win-win for everybody involved, right? So first of all, it's the Great Pie giveaway. It means we're giving away pies. We're going to give away either apple or pumpkin pie. We might only do pumpkin pie from a cost perspective, but we will see based off of the sponsorship we can get. Um, so we'll have two kinds of pies that people can pick from. The event is going to be on November 25th from 4 to 7. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and that's when people can come pick up their pies. The event will be located in Norfolk. I don't have the exact location yet, but I'm hoping to be at a coffee shop because they will have hot chocolate and cider to give to our guests, because it's cool and it's the fall season and we are ready for the holidays, right? Um, we will partner with two charities this year. One is going to be families of autistic children in Tidewater, and we'll be collecting sensory toy items. And we will have a list for people to so that they know what to buy, and that they can buy them from the Dollar Tree. I've had much success with that donation collection in the past, and they're great stocking stuffers for the parents to use at Christmas. And then the other one we're going to support is Survivor Ventures, and we are going to be collecting transportation gift cards, Uber, Lyft kind of thing, because one of the things is they help these survivors get jobs, but they don't have transportation all the time. And their current funding is for very specific things, and transportation isn't one of them. So we're going to help them with that. And then we're going to have sponsors. Now, um, if you have vendors that you already work with, I would love for us to work together and invite them to be a sponsor, right? So that they have the opportunity to get in front of not only your clients or prospective clients, but also the clients of the other agent, right? So it gives them, it's like you helping them grow their business. And the more we have, the cheaper it is for each one of them, so that the more pies we can give away. Right. I try to keep the sponsorship relatively low, like under $200. Um, and we will have door prizes. And so that money will include a door prize, or we will ask them to bring a door prize in addition to. So I haven't quite figured out exactly what direction I want to go on that yet, but just know that it'll all be factored in before we kick off invitations. Right? So that is the gist of the event, right? That's the setup. There's not a lot of fanfare, a lot of decoration, bells and whistles. I will try to have a photographer there. That's going to be in the budget before we figure out what the sponsorship's going to be. And the reason for the photographer is because professional photography is great for our marketing. So you put it on your social media, you can use it in your print, but you can advertise with it afterwards, right? And you can get people to come to you. So, um, so that is kind of how the event is set up. Now, the day of the event, we'll set up, well, the pies will be ordered from Costco. We'll have to pick up the pies and bring them to the location and set it up, right? Depending on how many of us there are, we'll figure out how we will set the pies up, or how we will figure out what the flow will be so that our people know how to find us at the event. And people are going to come and go, so it's not like all these people are going to show up at one time, hopefully. The to maintain the budget, one question we get asked a lot in event mastery is, well, what if too many people come up and I just don't have the money? So the event is free, but the pies are limited. So we're going to start with 100 pies. And as we get up to that number, we're going to go to our sponsors and we're going to say, hey, we have 98 people registered. Would you be willing to give us more money to get more people here? If they say yes, great. If they say no, then we will go see if we can find another sponsor, right? And so that's how it works. I've never gotten to the point where I have gone over. I almost went over, but the thing is sometimes people just don't show up. Now with the pies, because they have to order the pies from us, most people do show up. And so it's not like we have a ton of extra pies. You will have a ton of extra pies if you um, have a lot of people that you don't really know. They don't have a relationship with you. So if you like post it on Facebook and are like, hey, we're giving away pies, who wants pies? And people are like, oh, I do, but you don't really know them, chances are they are the ones who are most likely to flake on you. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see how we can work together. Let me make this bigger. So, so I already gave you the details about the event, but then the goal is going to be I will take care of creating like the flyer, the registration form. And the way the registration form is going to work, the very first question is going to say, which agent invited you to which EXP agent invited you to the event? And the reason we do that is so that we make sure everybody gets credit for those people. But then if, you know, Addie is like, oh, I invited 25 people and they all RSVP'd and they all gave referrals. I need to make sure that that part of the spreadsheet gets to Addie so that she has all of her referrals and any questions or comments they may provide. And and so that's how that's going to work. And it's going to be we're going to use Google Form for that because it's free and it works great. It's worked in the past. So we have no complaints. Now, the recommendation is to make a list of 150 people, every single one of us make a list of 150 people that if you have past business, you're going to want to make sure your clients are on there and things like that. But if you're new and you don't have past business, you're going to make a list of 100 people that you like, they like you back, and they live in our MLS service area. Right now, if you can't come up with 150 people, that is fine, but if you can get to 150 people, that's going to help your business. The more people you talk to, the more business you're going to get. Um, and then so we're going to, in the weeks leading up to starting the invitation process, you want to get their mailing address. And the reason for that is so that we can mail the invitation. And part of this strategy is to hit people in every single communication form as possible, right? So the easiest way to get addresses, and people will give them to you, is we'll have a text script that says, hey, my real estate team, and for the purposes of this, your real estate team is every single agent who's participating and our vendors, right? So my real estate team is doing a Pi Day giveaway. And um, what is a good address to send the invitation, right? And almost always they give you the address, right? And then so we will get the flyers, invitations in the mail and sent off, right? Then that's going to be on week 0, they'll be printed and mailed. And then on week 1, they will receive the printed invitation. And then on week 2, we're going to email an invitation, right? And you can email it through your CRM. I'm on Lofty. Um, I will probably email through Google. If you're tech savvy, I can help you with like how to do a Google Mail merge. I can send the link. But otherwise, like your CRM may be better, or you can choose to do one at a time or blind copy. It is up to you how you email it out, right? But we're just email it out to all 150-ish people, and then we go from there. And then after that, the following week, oh, I'm sorry, on the screen I didn't include. And so that goes out on like a Monday or Tuesday. And then on that Friday, we're gonna send a text to confirm, be like, hey, I sent you an email invitation to the Great Pie giveaway. In case it went to your spam, here is the link, and we'll send the link. Um, and you don't have to wait till Friday. You can actually start texting people on Tuesday if you wanted to. And you can text through your CRM or you can do it through your phone. Be careful on your phone because you can go to phone jail. It'll like it can lock your phone up for like a couple of days. Um, Now, if you have an app that allows you to group text people and not make it a group text, you can use that as well. Then the following week, we're going to have call day or call night, depending on what that looks like for people. And what that is we're going to get together and maybe have pizza and we're going to call. We're going to call people who have not RSVP, right? And we're just checking. We're like, hey, we sent you an invitation. Wanted to know if you're going to be able to make it. And like I said, a lot of people are not going to be able to make it, but they're going to be so grateful that you thought about them to give them a pie. And in these conversations, we're saying, well, my real estate team is doing this. Real estate will come up in the conversation through that. All you have to say is, my real estate team is doing Pie Day, blah, blah, blah. Somebody's going to talk to you about real estate. And then, so you're not going to call 150 people in a couple hours. So through the week, you want to like try to get to those people. And then the third week, sorry, that's the call night. Then the fourth week, we're going to have the confirmation text, right? So the event's on Tuesday. So Thursday, Friday, we're going to start confirming to make sure nobody's changed the plan. Plans have changed. And then on this isn't on here because the next week is the event week, right? So then it's the event week. And in the event week, we will send additional follow-ups to just remind them like the day before and the morning of. And I always send an email the morning of, and I'll prepare that so that you guys can do it because it tells them what to do and exactly what to expect. Um, and uh, and people will forget. Like I remember texting somebody in the morning, and by the afternoon, they were like, "Oh, yeah, I totally forgot." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, it happens, but that's kind of how it all works. There's going to be a door prize entry form, right? And on that door prize entry form, we're going to include the questions on the registration form, and we're going to include the paper at the event. So that means that people can have 2 chances to win if they fill it out there. And because who knows, they might come up with the referral between then the time they register and the time they get their pie. And so on those, there's questions that say, and I meant to bring a copy that said, who's the next person that's going to buy a house? Name, phone number, email. Who's the next person who's going to sell a house? name, phone number, email, and then it asks referral generating questions for our vendors. So let's say we get an insurance person. It might say, are you or someone you know interested in a insurance review? Might be a photographer. Is someone you know interested in family portraits? So we're trying to serve our vendors by getting them referrals. We're giving to the community by collecting things, and then we're giving back to our sphere. And that's how we generate referrals through love, appreciation, and generosity with a Great Pie giveaway. So if you guys are interested, please let me know. You can reply to the email. And then I'll include a video where I talked about the style of event, but it was a milkshake event. But it's still a similar style that I followed. For more information, if you would like. Um, but yeah, and then let me know any questions that you might have. Something that's important for me to know is, are you a dual career agent? Because what that's going to tell me is what the time constraints need to be. So I will need to know that. And then and if you are a solo agent, because if you're a team agent, you should probably be doing the things with your team. So those are two things to keep in mind. And just let me know, like, does this sound like something you're interested in moving forward with? And I guess probably needed to know by, we'll say October 10th. I need to know if you want to move forward with it so we can start getting things ready with everyone's name and whatnot. And if you know other EXP agents that might want to participate, I reached out to a lot of agents, but I didn't reach out to everybody. I reached out to people who I believed were not on a team, based off of different information and people that I know who are at EXP. So if you know someone who didn't get the message, that's fine. Feel free to share this with them and just have them reach out to me. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And once I know everybody who's going to do it, we'll schedule a time to chat. All right. Well, thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to include an email for you guys that on Thursday, if you want to tune in, Michael J. Maher is doing a session on Pi Days. So I will forward this email to you with this video. And if you would like to, you can. If you can't make that time, go ahead and register because I think they always send out a replay. But this will probably give you a very good idea of what to expect. And just know that this is a sales thing for him, and he's trying to get people to sign up for Event Mastery. That's not something you need to do. If you want to do it, by all means, love to have you there. But if you do not want to do it, that is a-okay because I already know it. And I will share it, the process with you as we go. So that's it for now for real this time. And I hope to be working with you guys soon. Have a good day. Bye.